Hi, hello, and welcome again to another episode of Natural Juan. And this episode, ladies and gentlemen, is another unscripted episode, so be ready if I make a lot of mistakes along the way. So this time around, I'm gonna teach you guys how to make your own answer oracle for your game. This is for those games where you don't have a GM or game master, or you don't want a GM or game master, or you do have a GM or game master but they're too lazy to make stuff up. So yeah, this is a big help to those game masters out there who want a little more help in their game. And yeah, anyway, before we continue, I'd like you all to please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications if you'd like to see more content like this. And as an additional, I'd like to give special thanks to Mr. Nathan Rockwood, who gave me this idea in one of his adventure guide books. So okay, before we go on, let's just answer the question, what is an answer oracle? An answer oracle is a fairly simple engine that answers a yes or no question. Now, anything can be an answer oracle. In fact, a lot of people say that you can just use an 8-ball for it, or a coin. You can make heads the answer yes, and tails as the answer no for any given question. But of course, since you're playing on a tabletop role-playing game and you want to give more nuance to that, of course you need a little more material, I guess. But for example, if I say, is there a forest beside the city? Now, you're certainly sure that that's unlikely. Maybe you're in a desert continent. It can't just be yes or no. I mean, it can't just be a 50-50 answer, right? Because it's a desert. It's not likely that there's a forest beside a desert. You might get an oasis of some kind, sure. But to have an actual forest there? So you see that a simple coin trick, that's not enough. You will need more nuance in order to answer more complex questions per se. So how do we do this? Easy. I will teach you, and let's start. So first, as you can see, I'm using Microsoft Word here, but you guys, you can use anything. You can use any scrap of paper you want. You can use a notebook. I'm just using Microsoft Word because I am weird that way. Yes, I am weird that way. So yeah, see? I'm even adjusting a few things here. From the spacing to the color of the page, texture. Yeah, to give it a medieval look, I guess. And I'm gonna use comic print, and I'm going to show you. Let's start. Now for this answer oracle, I'm going to use the simple D20, which is very popular for Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, and Mutants and Masterminds, and quite a few others, I believe. So yeah, let me show you. So D20 answer oracle. So let's start with the actual table or chart. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll need 3 columns. I'll need upwards of 10 rows. Out of it to window. And voila. Okay, now wait, let's center the writing for all this, shall we? Okay, so yeah, so let's put in the odds. Here's the yes, and here's the no. So what'll happen here is, so now let's put in the odds. So let's start in the middle here. Okay, that's the middle. And here is the maybe, the 50-50 answer, the 50-50 answer. Down here is maybe somewhat unlikely, maybe no, right? Unlikely, very unlikely, and extremely unlikely. And up here you'll have the same, almost the same thing, but somewhat likely, likely, very likely, and extremely unlikely. So all we need now is to fill in the values or the numbers for this game. So we got to start with maybe because we need to start with a midpoint. So here we'll have a 1 to 10, and oh wait, wrong. So yeah, here we'll start with 10 to 20, not 10 to 20, 11 to 20. Okay, let me just adjust this so we don't have, yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, okay, there you go. So let's start with the midpoint. It'll be 1 to 10, and yes will be 11 to 20. Now let's count down from below. So somewhat unlikely will be 1 to 11, and yes will be 12 to 20. It's just a slight difference, right? Now unlikely, it'll be 12. It'll be, no, 1 to 12. And yes will be 13 to 20. Next, very unlikely is 1 to 13. And it'll be 14 to 20. And extremely unlikely, like very low odds, is 1 to 15. And yes is 15 to 20. And next, let's start with the higher likelihood. So it'll be 1 to 9. And yes will be 10 to 20. Next is likely, and that'll be 1 to 8. And it'll be 9 to 20. Very likely will be 1 to 7. And yes will be 8 to 20. Next is extremely unlikely, will be 1 to 6. And yes will be 7. Oops, not 5. 7 to 20. So there you have it. This is your answer oracle. So for example, if I were to ask, is there a monster on the other side of this door? Let's say likely 1 to 8 and 9 to 20. 3. No, there is no monster. Now let's choose another. Suppose do I find any treasure under the bed? So let's roll for it. Extremely unlikely. Let's roll for it, shall we? No. And that's another thing I'm going to explain soon. I'm going to explain to you a chaos table. Because sometimes this might not be enough. Sometimes you want to add even more nuance to your game. And this is where where the chaos table comes in. Okay. Let's just start with this, something simple that you can understand. Okay. So, let's put in the chaos, the and the but. Okay, let me just explain this to you first. When you say chaos, this kind of alters the answer to a given question. Like, an example would be, is there a monster? And you roll the chaos. You roll the chaos dice, and it comes out and. So, like, you ask the question, is there a monster? And you come out with the answer yes. If you roll for and comes out, like for example, you roll, like I said, you roll a yes, and comes up, that means maybe there are two monsters. Another idea would be, you say, have I found the car? The answer might be yes again, but maybe the car is broken, like you can't make it start. Or maybe the answer is no, but you do find the motorcycle. Does that make sense? When you say but, that alters the question. You're right, there is something like that, but it doesn't work the way it's intended. And just affirms the idea and makes it better or worse. Like, do I find a sword here? When the end comes out, that can mean you find more than just a sword. Maybe you also find, a bow. Or maybe you do find a sword, but it's also magical, that it can deal more damage to monsters, that sort of thing. That's what the and is for. Oh, I'll demonstrate this in a minute. So now let's determine the chaos. So let's start at high, positive, chaotic, negative, chaotic, and low. Okay, so what'll happen is, so again, we have a d20, right? Okay, so what'll happen here basically is that, for example, at low levels we'll have forgot to adjust this. So at low levels it'll just be, and will just probably be 1, and but sorry guys, just had to fix something. Okay, and can be 20, and but can be 1. You know what, let's just adjust this. We might as well adjust this as well. Sorry. Okay, so but and so okay, but can be 1 and can be 20. Since this is a d20, there's only a 5% chance that that'll come out. So at negative chaotic, there's a higher chance of the answer being but rather than and. So maybe and will stay the same, being 20, but negative chaotic, but the but will be 1 to 3. Positive chaotic, maybe what'll happen is and will become 18 to 20, and but will just be 1. At a high chaos, maybe but will be 1 to 3, and will stay as 18 to 20. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. But another thing, we go with the buts. I think I've said but too many times. Heck, I don't know if people have turned this video into a drinking game for, I don't know, every time I say but or something like that. Okay. All right. So another thing that I need to tell you guys is this is completely adjustable. This means that you can do this any way you want to. So for example, you want to adjust the likelihood, like make it maybe extremely, sorry about that, maybe you want extremely likely to be, maybe you want it to be less, so 4 will be 1 to 4, and yes will be 5 to 20. You can do that. You can just adjust it. Don't take this as written. You can make your own. I'm just demonstrating to you that you can make your own, and this is a pattern you can follow. But it's up to you how you make your own answer oracle. I'm just teaching you how to make your own pattern. This is how I make my pattern, but it's up to you how you make your own. You can do what I did here, or like I said, you can make minor adjustments. Like if it's extremely unlikely, maybe you'll want it to be 51 to 17, and yes will be 18 to 20, that sort of thing. You can also adjust the chaos. Maybe you want but to be 1 to 5 and to be 16 to 20. It's up to you. It's up to you how you make it. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this episode of Natural Juan. And if you want more content like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications. I'll see you again next time, everybody.